You guys could continue the podcast if I have to leave at like 8 minutes after for radio.
Oh yeah, that went really well last time.
Yeah, we discussed those. I like stuff.
Wow.
That was awesome.
This is JD's podcast, JD's Rubberboards podcast. We're gonna sit and relax and tell you all sorts of stories. Talk about life and little sports. You know we're gonna play some games. And if nothing else, you know we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah. 'Cause this is the podcast.
What an intro. Eddie Van Halen tribute there by our guy Lester. That was you doing that, Lester?
That's me.
Man,
That's amazing.
got it all.
Well, listen, I'll tell you, it's I by no means anywhere close to his playing, but obviously Edward Van Halen passing away last week, a big influence for me and many people that I know. It was just a very, very sad day last week. So I thought, we've talked about dreams before. We used dreams when we talked about your dreams, James. So obviously Van Halen is no stranger to our pod. So I wanted to do something special in honor of one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Rest in peace, Edward Van Halen.
Ditto on that. And I think that Hello would have been a much bigger hit if you opened it with that guitar solo.
Hello.
A lot of people don't know about Jimmy that I was a bit of a rocker for a couple years in high school because
I did not know that.
All in ass.
I would pay.
Why are you laughing so much, Puff?
I would pay to see Jimmy as a rocker.
I was a rocker.
Did you have long hair and a stoner jacket too?
I had the full ass mullet. I mean, I had my favorite bands through like grade sort of 9, 10, 11 were Van Halen and Triumph. That's
Nice.
all I listened to was Van Halen and Triumph. In fact, my favorite Diver Down was probably not Van Halen's best album, but it was my favorite album. And there's a song on there called Little Guitars that it's just my Señorita, I'm in trouble again and I can't get free.
Señorita.
So anyway, yeah, Eddie Van Halen was kind of one of my idols too. I got knocked out at a Van Halen concert in Montreal. That was
Really?
Yeah, I spent half the concert in the first aid center because the general admission, everybody pushed back. It got, everybody was standing on chairs and they put chairs in general admission. I don't know why you do that at a Van Halen concert. And everybody started falling, going backwards, mosh pit style. And basically I fell and hit my head on the concrete.
What?
That's rock and roll, baby.
Good times.
Were you a rocker when this happened?
I was a rocker.
That's what started the phase.
Was it the Roth era or the Hagar era? Or do you remember?
I think that might have been David Lee Roth. No, I think that might have been Sammy Hagar by then.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
I saw them 3 times, twice with Sammy and once with Gary Cherone. So 95,
Oh.
98, and then 2004 on the reunion tour. But I never saw them with Roth.
This would have had to been in Montreal at the Forum. I'm going to say 1990, 91, something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So someone would have to look it up. But my memory would be Sammy Hagar at that time, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Eddie Van Halen was freaking awesome. Gentlemen, big development on material from several different podcast episodes coming together as one. Fall is here, winter is coming. So I had a predicament of what to do with the golf net.
Oh.
Summer episode, expensive golf net bought by Jimmy. And so Jimmy decided that he could move it down to the basement, Brooksie's designer basement that she just finished about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that your new closet?
You live down there, don't you?
Yeah. So Jimmy also bought a thing called a Sky Tracker, which is like a simulator
Oh, baby.
for the golf.
Oh.
Now, technically, you're supposed to have 10-foot ceilings to have a golf net and and I only have 8-foot ceilings down there.
Okay.
But I thought I could just sneak it in there, just enough room, and maybe only go up to like a 7-iron, so I wouldn't hit the roof.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
Sorry, folks, just so you know, folks, another 360 check was done by Jimmy just to see where the wife's at.
I didn't tell Brooksie that I was going to move the net downstairs. I waited until she went out for the day.
Yeah.
Smart.
I took down the net outside, moved the net downstairs into the basement. So Brooksie went downstairs to work out. We also have a little gym down there, and she found the golf net.
Uh-oh.
And she wasn't angry. Brooksie's very good. She just said, I'm getting another handbag.
That golf net keeps costing you.
I said, honey, but we just got you a handbag for your beautiful birthday gift. It was a beautiful handbag. Did a whole episode on it on the podcast. And she said, yeah, but you just bought a simulator. So if you don't want me to get angry about you messing up my designer basement, I'm getting another handbag. So somehow this Sky Tracker cost me about like $5,000.
Sounds about right.
I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
This is why Jimmy's going to be on TS until he's 87 years old.
Oh, wow.
If they'll take him.
Wow.
No retirement in the future.
Is the Sky Tracker good though? Is it worth the money?
Haven't got it yet. It's being shipped out to me.
Does this one track the ball or does it track your clubs? Because I know that's a big difference in the home ones.
I don't know. I just
Should have consulted me, big golf guy.
Oh my god!
I think it tracks the ball.
That's good. That's
I think
the
it
better
tracks
one, yeah.
it tracks the
You're gonna
impact.
have to get the one that tracks the club too.
Well, I think it tracks the impact of club on ball, right? And the way the ball's spinning, it takes all these millions of pictures in a second, and how hard you hit it, and how hard the ball's going, and all that stuff, and how hard the club was going. I don't know.
Can you play around? Like, can you play different courses?
Yeah, that's what's amazing about it. Like, I'm never going to leave my basement all winter. But the problem is that I can't use, like I said, because of the low ceilings, I probably can't get beyond, like a 7-iron is probably the most, Puffy.
Yeah.
So, if I'm playing some course with a 250-yard carry, I might be in trouble.
You got to dig out a hole.
Jimmy, for like $60,000, I can find someone to dig that basement out for you. Put another couple feet on that.
That's exactly it.
But then they'll find the bodies.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no, Puffy, that was my big regret is that, if I'd have just said, honey, let's put a simulator down there before we did the basement, she probably would have gone for it. I mean, it would cost me 3 bags, but...
That ain't nothing for you. 3 bags? Come
3
on.
bags.
3
bags would kill me, but nothing for you.
Do you have a putting green bit down there?
The putting green is,
Coming.
I have one of those carpets so I can putt on the same place that I would hit the balls into the net with the Sky Tracker. I'll putt down there. It won't be as good. Let's get to the week that was.
Let's discuss the week that was with James Duffy and the Rubber Boots Podcast crew.
Free agent frenzy happened this week. All the boys were back in the studio. Puffy, it's the first time I had seen Puffy since the pandemic.
Yeah. No, we golf. We golf.
Yeah, that's right. We golf. Sorry.
What an unforgettable experience.
Yeah.
Puffy, you must have been that day.
It made my journal. I don't know about yours.
Actually, Puffy was good that day. Remember, we talked about it on the pod. I was terrible.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Have I seen you, Lester, since the pandemic in person?
Once. We ran into each other in the parking lot that one day.
Oh, that's right.
Me, you, and LeBron, yes.
Right.
I
And
thought you were
Stop?
going to say we went to lunch.
Jimmy, I've been living at your house for 3 weeks.
Hey, that was me that helped you take the Sky Tracker downstairs. Don't you remember?
It's the concussion from the Van Halen concert, all right? Yeah, but it was good. It was the first time I'd seen a lot of the guys in there. I'd been in with some of them during our playoff coverage, but for those of you who saw it, we kind of had to space things out. We could only have I think 6 or 7 commentators allowed in the studio at once, plus a handful of other people. Puffy was in there with his mask on, diligently bringing me notes, producing the hell out of that bad boy.
Oh yeah, it was one of my finer moments.
Hey, listen, not to stroke your egos, but I watched the whole thing. It was really good.
You did? I did.
Lester, I didn't even watch the whole thing. I was hosting.
When I watched. It was like 3:00, and Kyle Dubas is like, "Yeah, we're done for the day." I'm like, "Well, no, go back to work."
Well, it was weird, right? Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you watching it all, Lester. There were a lot of like 1 and 2 year deals at 1.2 million each, but it was definitely a different type of free agent frenzy. But at least there was enough in there to keep us going for the most part. My favorite part, and maybe Stoff can insert this, was when Pierre's mic was left up for a second, and what did he say exactly? He said, "There's not enough cream in this."
Now, Wenberg to Florida. James?
Not enough cream in here.
All right, thank you, guys. Not enough cream in here from Pierre LeBrun. That could be the new "Is there ketchup on that?" from Jeff O'Neill.
So it was Puffy. It was straight out of. You were probably working and you didn't hear it. Yeah. It was straight out of "Is there ketchup on that?"
Really?
100%.
They were throwing back, and Pierre's mic was still open, and he was talking about his coffee, I guess. And I can't remember if he said, "Is there too much? There's too much cream in this," or "There's not enough cream in this."
Not enough cream in here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was trending on Twitter very quickly. It was wonderful. What else happened this week? Oh, I wanted to make mention of the Lakers winning the title and their dressing room being full of Mick Ultras.
Oh,
Back to season 1. Let's just say we were all over the Mick Ultras before it got popular, and they did not sponsor our podcast, even though we make bastards. So they put about $50 million into the NBA, but can't give the old rubber boots a couple of grand, eh?
A couple grand.
20 grand.
Joke.
Couple bags, whatever.
Couple bags.
Oh, I had a Taylor Hall hypothetical for you, Puffy, coming out of Free Agent Frenzy.
Yeah.
You can play the music if you want right here. Stop.
Yo, 1, 2, 1, 2. These hypotheticals are messing with my mind. These hypotheticals, what's gonna be this time? These hypotheticals are blowing my mind again. These hypotheticals.
Puffy, it's real life, okay? It's real life, and you're offered a 1-year deal. So you're going to get the money. Puffy, the actual Puffy in real life is going to get the money.
Okay.
$8 million from the Sabres.
Yep.
Or let's say $5 million from your choice of Vegas. Who else? Tampa.
Yeah.
Nashville.
Well, you got to throw Toronto in there. That's got to be tempting.
Toronto.
Just to be a Leaf.
$8 million from Buffalo. So, Puffy, you will get this money, or you will get to live in those cities and have a chance at the Stanley Cup. This will be your only year of your career.
Oh.
This is it. At the end of it, you go back to being Puffy.
But I'm getting $5 million from those other places?
Yeah, I mean, after taxes and escrow and everything, you're probably going to get about 1.4.
You got to go to Tampa.
I'm going to Buffalo. I'm taking $8 million.
I thought you would. What if I make it $6 million in Vegas?
I'm going to Vegas.
Oh, that's terrible. You're going to owe $2 million.
With only $2 million, I could justify it. The 3 is a big deal.
Lester?
I don't know how did that happen? How did he end up there?
That's a really good question, and I think that he's just placing his bet on getting a lot of points with Eichel and then getting a big deal next year. And the one thing I would say about hockey is it's hard to pick who's going to be good or bad next year, right? You know, like Vegas is going to be good and Tampa will be good, but it's hard to pick. Like, teams can sort of get really good really fast and really bad really fast. It's not like the old days where you could pick 3 or 4 contenders and have a pretty good shot that they're going to be contenders. I would say that. But I don't think Buffalo is going to be a contender this year. So it is a bit of an odd selection. But apparently the money was fairly substantially different, $2 to $3 million over from some of the other bidders.
Wow. Poor guy.
Look, it's a cash grab. That's all it is to me. Like I saw that when it came out, and I was like, really? You know, like once again, Montreal would have taken him, not for $8 million, but Montreal would have taken him and given him some term. You know, they just
I don't think it's a pure cash grab. I think that plays into it, Lester. But I do think that only signing the 1 year, that it was just a terrible timing to be a free agent, and so
that's true.
Yeah, I'm going to take it is a bit of a cash grab, but I do think that these guys have a chance to be decent this year. He lives in Toronto, right down the road, so maybe those factor in.
Hey, listen, you never know. Like, I mean, not to say that the Dallas Stars shouldn't have been better sooner, but what a great run they had, when they almost did it, right?
For sure. I would have gone to Colorado. I don't know what Colorado offered him, but I'm going there to play with whatever, Landeskog and McKinnon and Cale Makar and all that. That's where I'm going if I'm Taylor Hall for a year.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's your, one of your top 3 Stanley Cup favorites next year. And 100%. If you put Taylor Hall on there, it might be the Stanley Cup favorite, right? Knowing how hard it is to repeat for Tampa.
Yeah, they're pretty loaded.
Christoph, let's get to things that I saw on the Twitter.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
All right, so there's a new Twitter account out there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's at Mike Pence Fly _. And this, of course, stems from the vice presidential debate where a fly sat on Pence's head for over 2 minutes. He didn't notice, he didn't brush it away, and eventually the fly got its own Twitter account.
Yeah.
The current follower account, 122,000.
Like, how is that possible?
Couple more than us.
It is like, I sort of giggle, but it's kind of stupid. Like, every time something happens now, an inanimate object gets a Twitter account. Kind of been done. I did laugh at that. Did you see our cold open for the free agent frenzy?
I did see that.
I did it with some hesitation. Our producer Bill was in love with the fact of doing something with the fly, so we just had a fly on my head, and then O-Dog just swatted it away. It was like just a 10-second thing. Because I think they wanted to do like fly gags all day long. And I said, I'm not doing. If we do a gag, it's going to be 10 seconds long, and that will be the end of it.
Flies are in now.
You know what, though? When I think about this whole inanimate object Twitter thing, I think one of the first things I remember seeing, and this was, it goes back to the Olympics. I don't think it was 2010. I think it was later than that. But the women's, I think Marie-Philippe Poulin, she scored in overtime. But when the U.S. pulled the goalie, the puck went down the net and hit the post, and that post had its Twitter, Instagram.
I think you're right.
Twitter.
I think I completely agree with you. I think that's one of the first times we ever saw that. But now that happens all the freaking
time now.
Yeah,
crazy.
Mike Pence's fly.
The SNL. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
It wasn't funny at all.
Did they have Jeff Goldblum on? I thought they were going to do that.
They didn't have Goldblum on, but they did the whole thing. Like Jim Carrey would basically play Goldblum, like as being Biden going down to become a fly.
Yeah,
it was terrible. It was
I've heard. I haven't seen it, but I heard the first 2 episodes have not been fantastic on either one of these things, considering there's so much material. But I would say this: it's hard to parody, and when real life is a parody, it's really hard.
So true. So true.
Like when Trump does is unbelievable. It's like, how are you going to make that like be even funnier?
Exactly.
Like,
that's a good point.
Crazy.
Keep going, stuff.
We're on to Tom Brady here, and earlier today he was congratulating LeBron James on his 4th title, and he did this on Twitter by writing, "Congrats to my brother at King James on winning his 4th championship. Not bad for a washed-up old guy." Now, the funny thing about this tweet is that in it, he uses a photoshopped image of LeBron's face on Brady's body from his loss to the Bears this week, where he's holding up 4 fingers. And this was when Brady was obviously confused, as he didn't realize that 4th down had just occurred and he thought he had one more. So initially Tom denied that he was confused, but clearly here he's having some fun with himself with the 4 championships. So I actually thought it was pretty funny.
That was very good. Let me ask you this. Why, when this stuff happens, like I watched all the news conferences after the game, they're all denying.
Oh, and they were like trained on denying it too. It's like,
It's
no,
the most
he knew what it
obvious
was.
thing ever. He's holding up fingers on the field that he doesn't know what down it is. And how can you go to the news conference and say with a straight face?
Yeah.
Because remember this. You know when this happened? This happened when J.R. Smith thought that.
Yeah.
No, was it that he thought there was more time, or that he thought that the score was different? He thought they were ahead or something.
Sorry,
by one.
I believe he thought they were ahead.
And it was tied, right?
By 1, and they were tied.
Yeah, he thought they were ahead by 1 and they were tied, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then they went out and denied that it's the dumbest thing ever. You can't. We're not idiots. We see it on the screen. Just got to come out and say, yeah, I forgot. It doesn't happen often, but I forgot.
But look who the president of the United States is.
Good
point. It's a culture. It's a culture of lying and deceiving. That's all it is. And they see that. They think that's the way you got to be. Disgusting.
Start at the top, baby.
You got anything else for us on Twitter?
We got a listener tweet here from William McAvoy, who tweets at us quite a bit.
He's in every episode. He's on a roll here.
Yeah, well, this might be his second tweet of the week, which you know what that means. Stay at the Prince Puffy Estates.
Oh, right.
But his tweet this week was an interesting one because it's actually a video image, and in the image, it's your face, James. However, it seems to be slightly overdubbed with this.
Hello. My name is James Duffy. I am here to reveal a trade that has just been announced. The Ottawa Senators have traded their 7th round pick in next year's draft for Connor McDavid. Okay, thanks, bye.
He got your cadence down perfect.
That is actually how I pronounce McDavid.
I love the okay, thanks, bye.
Next trade deadline, you have to announce one of the trades and say, okay, thanks, bye.
Oh, my God.
We congratulate William McAvoy. He gets a 1-week stay at the Sean Cameron.
Whoa.
Prince
For the friends and family rates.
Lovely estate. I have to go in a few minutes to do that silly show they call Overdrive. And apparently I'm only doing it because O is on vacation. He's exhausted, so he's taking 3 weeks off after the free agent frenzy. So I wanted to quickly squeeze in a What You Watching.
What you watching? Just between you and me. What you streaming on your TV? Let me see. What you watching? Action, drama, comedy. What you streaming on your TV?
I tweeted about this. Brooksie and I were bored the other night, and we're a little desperate on the Netflix, and we watched something called My Octopus Teacher, which is a documentary. I love the docs, which I would highly recommend to you guys this week. Maybe you can do it as a little homework for the pod next week and our listeners as well. It's about a guy who is a filmmaker, and he's a little lost, and he loves the water. He lives in South Africa, quite dangerous part of the water, and starts diving. He free dives, and he meets this octopus basically, and starts filming their encounters. And it's unbelievable film. And I love octopus, one of my favorite seafoods to eat. And now I can't eat octopus anymore after watching this film, because it makes you love the octopus, Puffy. You fall in love with the octopus. They're unbelievable creatures, right? They're like puppies, but slimier.
Oh, God.
This movie's
Is that the next family pet?
It's like an action movie. It's like a thriller. It's like a love story, all in a documentary about an octopus.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to get a couple. We're going to add...
You could probably use the golf net to swoop it out of the ocean.
Do octopus kill? Could they kill people?
This is a little octopus. No. Maybe like those giant like krakens. But
yeah,
the kraken.
This is like, this octopus is about the size of like a baseball glove.
Like, are they nature's silent killer?
No,
Then, like,
they're not endangered.
Well, sure, there's no poison suction that they can have. Or
That's
anything?
why you have to watch My Octopus Teacher. That's why they call it Teacher, because he teaches them that octopuses are beautiful, loving puppies.
I think what we need is
He
we
was
need a
bawling
John.
at the end of My Octopus Teacher. It's like she just watched the freaking Notebook.
You seriously?
I'm not kidding. She was bawling. A very sensitive girl.
I watched a Netflix documentary. I'm gonna have to whisper a little. And it was about this sportscaster, radio guy in New York, and his whole life falls apart because of gambling. And so I started watching it, and then Tanya started watching it, and then I could tell it was going to be problems afterwards. and so we're just about to go to bed, and she says, do you think it's a really good idea that our 10-year-old is gambling all the time right now? and I didn't know what to say because she was right. and I just kind of walked away. And I didn't talk about it with her. But it's a great movie. His life really fell.
Did you check his account balance?
Oh my God.
The other thing is, though, Barrett and I are kind of on a roll right now. We're doing so it's not the time to shut it down.
No. You gotta let it ride, baby. You gotta let it ride.
Is that what they said in the movie?
Tanya, you're right. It's morally wrong. It's ethically wrong. It's bad parenting. But just give us 2 more weeks.
She said something about it being illegal. I wasn't sure if that's true. I think she's trying to use scare tactics.
Tanya. I think the only reason that Brooksie sobbed at the end of My Octopus Teacher is she has 2 different handbags made from octopus.
And she just ordered the 3rd.
Oh my God.
Don't forget, folks, to watch the to listen to the hot new podcast, Rubber Beauties, which is a after show pod for the Beauties podcast, which I can now promote here as well. The Rubber Boots podcast is brought to you by Beauties. The Beauties podcast brought to you by the Rubber Boots podcast. The Rubber Beauties podcast brought to you by both the Rubber... I get confused. But please check out Beauties. I'm very proud of it. And the book is available as of the 20th. The podcast is out by the time you listen to this, episode 1, and listen to the after show podcast starring the same crew as the Rubber Boots podcast. It's called Rubber Beauties. You can find it right where you find it. It's basically a bonus podcast for Rubber Boots, right, buddy?
Absolutely.
All right. And thanks for squeezing this in. Happy late Thanksgiving, gentlemen.
But one thing before we go, Jimmy, listen, you know me, I like to make sure we pay tribute. And unfortunately, Johnny Nash passed away last week. Johnny Nash wrote his biggest song was I Can See Clearly Now. He also sang the theme for Hercules. Hercules, Hercules.
Use your ring, use your ring.
Anyway, Newton. In order, I've done a little special version of I Can See Clearly Now, and we'll play it at the end of the pod tonight.
Well, nice. Which is right now. So Lester will play us out. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Someone out to Mr. Johnny Nash. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. All of the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Happen one time, come on. Think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. Yeah. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yes, it will. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yeah. It's gonna be sunshiny day. Yeah, yeah, yeah.